I'm back. So you're back here with Miss Libby Rose in the Pink Sewing Bus, and now I would like to talk some more about sewing. I have touched on this lovely machine a few times in conversations earlier today in my videos, and now I would like to talk about this lovely beautiful machine in full. So this is the Janome Memory Craft 350E, and I am a little bit obsessed with it. I am no expert at all. I have been training in it and I'm learning more and more, but for now what I've been using it for is the words functions and the inbuilt pictures and little monograms that are inbuilt in the machine. I'm slowly learning how to do, because there is a USB port and a card port on the side, and so I'm slowly learning how to sort of develop designs with that, but that certainly is a massive work in progress in amongst everything else that is going on. If I had if I had more hours in a day, I would be an expert at it by now, but you know, I've got quite a lot of other things on my plate as well, not least of which is running this gorgeous pink sewing bus that I travel around and teach from. So I want to give you a little mini tutorial on it, if that's okay, and I'd just like to run through it. So I'm sure that a lot of you may not have used one of these, and so I'm sure many of you have, but I just want to go through the basics with you on it. So it comes with two embroidery hoops. So they're not, you know, these are machine embroidery hoops. So it's this size that I use a lot of, which is I think size A, and there's another one that's size B that's a lot bigger. But because I use it at the moment a lot just for adding applique, so I'll put some embroidery words on some applique, or some, you know, on the pocket that I showed you in the dress earlier that had sunshine in my pocket on the pocket. And you know, and I like to just add some fun quirky words, and then also I've done some kids workshops where they can program in their own words, which has been quite fun. And my favorite, I think I've said this in another video, but my favorite was we were making the little zippy purses and we were putting words on the outside of the zippy purses, and I said that, you know, you're allowed to say whatever you like. So she put, "I love cats and bats," and I just thought, that is so cool. I've said you can put whatever you like, so yeah, let's go for it. And it was just so sweet. I love cats and bats. Why not? Why not? You're allowed to. That's fine. So what we do is we put a backing on the fabric. So it's a we just press on, so we get it about the good size of the hoop, so it must fit the whole size of the hoop, and it's this special backing paper that you can get that just irons on, so it's kind of like interfacing, like it feels like a type of papery interfacing, and it's not as gluey as, say, heat and bond is or something like that. It's just a really shiny texture, and I'm sure that experts, embroidery experts, will probably know more about it. But it's just a special backing paper really that goes on, and so you get your square or your piece. Now what I've found, that if your piece is too big, so if your piece is going to be much bigger, then you use the bigger hoop, because what will happen is, as it moves around, the piece of fabric sometimes will flap inside if you're not watching too carefully, and then that causes all sorts of problems. So I've got my hoop. I'm just going to, just behind the machine here, I'm just going to iron it on, and then cut my piece of fabric to size. Let's get that cut to size, and then just like I would do in an embroidery hoop when I'm doing hand embroidery, I just slide it on. So I just sort of push it in the hoop, And then there is a little sort of carriage at the back of the machine, and I'm going to put this little screw, it just links in, so there's a little hole at the back, and so I lift the presser foot and I put the little hole and it just clicks in, just like when you're putting in a low bobbin, just clicks into place. So that I know is secure, and that carriage will take it, or will move this hoop all around. So I need to make sure that there is nothing behind here on the machine, so that there's nothing that's going to hit, and then it's going to sort of obscure the way that it works. So I don't know if you can really see, I think it's quite light there to be able to really see the features. There we go. Okay, so if I keep that there, these are all the numbers, so there's loads and loads and loads of numbers that you can choose a pattern for, and then it just tells you when to change the color. But I'm not going to do that. Just in this instance, I'm going to press A to Z and then type in sewing, sorry. Okay, and then it says my hoop size, so I've got so now it's got it all programmed. I could change the color if I wanted to. I can change the font if I want. Now I want to write more than that, so I'm going to press edit, and that's going to take me to another screen so I can move it around. So sewing, and then I'm going to add some more words, so sewing there, makes, so I might push that over to the side, push that there, and then go another word, so sewing makes, can you still see what I'm doing? Sorry, I can't see you. Sewing makes you. And then I will just type in smile, S-M-I-L-E, and that is that. So I've just put the words wherever I want them across. So can you see that it's now all typed in, sewing makes you smile, just all higgledy around the place. And then I am set. So I just tell the machine, okay, yes, that's the hoop size. And then I'm down, and then I just make sure that I'm all set here. And then I put the presser foot down, press start, and away we go. And if you look over here, it even tells you when the bobbin thread is almost out. And that function alone, whoops, and that function alone is pretty fantastic to me. How wonderful to have a machine to tell you when the bobbin, the thread's almost out. Yes, I think we've all been there. So now that goes along, and it's going to write those words for me. So I don't know exactly. You see, it's already starting with the S. And then normally I go in there with my little embroidery snippers, and I'll just trim off those little bits of thread, just the excess thread there, so that I can, so that it won't just go over itself. So now it's just going to go on and type it all out. Now, Sewing Makes You Smile is a hashtag that I use quite a lot, and anyone that actually knows me or follows me see that I'm often writing Sewing Makes You Smile. And this is a point actually that's come up, and I know in one of the Patrick and Esme interviews on this feed, they mention it as well, and they mention about, you know, so the whole feel-good factor with sewing and with craft. It's quite a, I've heard there's been a few programs on Woman's Hour about it as well, about crafts, about how doing things with your hands, I think this is what Esme was saying actually, doing things with your hands really it really helps with our sort of mindset and how we can help, and I know that it's getting pushed more and more in the mental health industry as well, and this is a subject that's really close to my heart, is how we can use sewing and crafts in the healing process. And I have a blog that I should really write more on, but there is bits, and it is my intention to do more blog posts about it. But if you go onto my MissLibbyRose.com website, where it says blogs, there's Libby Rose Makes, so there's lots of different like makes that I just put up as I put up my new YouTube makes, but also I have something that's sewing stories or mindful sewing, things like that. Now those posts are really about sort of getting your head in a good space, and I know that people that live a sort of stressful life, or that, you know, there's quite a lot of stress around them, or maybe there's just got so much going on, that people that can take the time to stop. So I mean, my big flag is sewing, and I know that a lot of us on here is all about the sewing, but you know, a lot of crafts in general, so doing things with your hands,